Hi guys, it's Dakota. Hope everybody's doing well. If you're new, welcome to the channel. I hope that you enjoy it. And if you already subscribed, welcome back. I hope you'll enjoy it as well. um, Let me just start off by saying I hope everybody had a wonderful Samhain if you celebrate. We had Samhain here at the farm, and as we do pretty much every year, and our group, will give you this information, and they already know because we've already discussed it, but I was a little nervous about it. The reason why is because it was something different. Uh, our Samhain rituals are typically the ones that and like I said, I typically do Samhain um, because I do it for when I'm teaching the 101 class or Witchcraft 101 class. I do Samhain just because I think it's a very important ritual, and I want the students to get that ancestral message, that ancestral energy from it. And I really want them to just relax and enjoy and be open to what they're receiving instead of, having somebody give a ritual and maybe like a student or something and they're not quite confident or whatever. So I just have always taken over the part of hosting the Samhain, and I don't mind it, honestly. I really kind of like it. I don't know if it's a controlling thing, but I just because I work with the ancestors, it is part of my tradition. I work with the ancestors, not just on Samhain, all the time. And I just, I so want it to be perfect. And there's no such thing as that. But this Samhain was so different. It was in August, I believe, like the 1st of August, the last of July. I sort of just had this download that, and it was coming directly from the ancestors, and they literally, the message was, we want something different. Like, we're just tired of the same old thing over and over and over. Even though the ritual changes, the words change, the script changes. We usually do an activity, some kind of an activity, at the end of, as we're ending up ritual, not the quiet supper, but or the silent supper or the dumb supper, whatever you like to call it. But we always do, as part of our ritual, as part of our circle, we do usually some sort of uh, activity that has to do with either a Samhain or witchcraft itself, or ancestors, things like that. And so I just was feeling a little bit uncomfortable. There were some glitches in ritual, and I had gone over that thing, I don't know how many times. I had completed the ritual weeks before Samhain, and I kept acting it out and acting it out and going over it and going over it and making sure that I had everything and everything. Well, that just didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to work out. And so there were these glitches, and I did feel kind of, I don't know, not embarrassed, but just, it was just uncomfortable for me because you know, and so, but I remember, and I always remember this story, one of a witch who is an author, very well known. I'm going to skip name calling here for now, but I'll never forget the story. They're very much a perfectionist when it comes to ritual and things. And they were doing ritual, and there was a thing that they were getting ready to do, and it sort of backfired on them. And they, at first, was just like, mortified by it, and then laughed about it. And really, what it boils down to is that that's the ancestors, the universe, deity, whatever you're working with. It's just the way of saying, chill out, relax, enjoy. Uh, you know, enjoy it. That's what we're doing. We are enjoying. So I kind of took all that information, remembering that story, and just thinking to myself that, even if you want to call it, oh, it was a mistake, it wasn't any mistake. It just didn't work out the way it was supposed to. And for me, now I can look back and go, well, that was the ancestors' way of saying, calm down, chill out, have a good time. And, like life isn't perfect. It just isn't perfect. And the ancestors were there to have a good time. And I'm telling you, I know they got a chuckle out of that. So, out of the couple of things that weren't smooth. Nothing went wrong. Nothing was terrible. There wasn't any big, oh my gosh, there wasn't any of that. It was just these little things where I'm used to, like this little perfect thing. And I really think that they were just sort of, they wanted something different. They wanted to laugh. They wanted to enjoy. They wanted to remember that feeling of laughter and goofiness and things. And instead of the solemn, we're here to remember, instead of that, they've heard it every year for years and years and years, something different, something that they could have a good time and laugh, and I think they got it. So it was really fun. I really did enjoy it. I really did. I had a great time afterwards. It was fun. I had a really good time putting it together too. It was really fun. So today, what I want to talk about, speaking of rituals and speaking of our groups, our circle, our circle sisters. They're not mine. We're a group. We are circle sisters. Our tribe. All the words. But one of our sisters had ritual. I believe it was the autumn equinox, fall equinox. I think I've told you that story already on here. Forget which video it was. It's got to be just recently, a recent video. Maybe I'll find it and link it. I always say that and I never do. Sorry. I got the brain the size of a pea, dried up pea. But she was saying that one of the things that she was really enjoying about the Seasons of the Witch Oracle cards, there's a series of them. And it started out, the first one was the Samhain, Seasons of the Witch, the Samhain Oracle. And then there was, I believe the next one was, it was either Yule or Beltane, but those are both out. And then there was Mabon, however people like to pronounce that. I pronounce it Mabon, which is probably wrong. This one came out, and this was the last one that came out, but they've just released the Seasons of the Witch Imbolc. So I'm really, really excited for that one to come out. Now, so what she was talking about was that what she found really interesting, and this is true, I think this is true. If you do ritual, maybe you like this, and maybe you're sort of like us. If you're looking at it, sometimes we need inspiration, right? I'm the person that wants to get out of the box, that wants to get out of the book. However, I'm not the most creative person either. So sometimes I need a little inspiration. I need an idea, whether it's a book that has a ritual already written out, and I go, oh, and maybe I'm doing maybe, and I'm not going to say sound. Maybe I'm doing Maven ritual, and I just need a little inspiration. And I'm reading this ritual, and this ritual is about, I don't know, it's about Ostara, or it's about Beltane, or it could be about any other ritual. But I go, you know what? I love that ritual. I can change that. Change the items that are being used. Change some of the words. Like if they're talking about Ostara, I can change the words to Maven, or I can make it work. But I like the concept of the ritual. Or you might find something on Instagram or Pinterest, or a book, it just whatever, but what we have found is that the majority of books, and I, having a metaphysical store, I have a fairly large book section. It's not huge, but we carry a lot of books. Let's put it that way. And any of the books that come in, whether it's, books on Wheel of the Year, the 8 Sabbats, a book on Samhain, a book on Maven, a book on Yule, a book on whatever. Llewellyn has their little books on each of the Sabbats. So there's, 8 series of books that come out. And like we just finished Samhain, there's a Samhain book, and now the Yule book is starting to sell out. But here's the issue that I have with them. That's not really an issue, is that there isn't anything different. I find it hard when I'm looking at, let's just say this was a Maven, the Maven book, and I'm looking through it, looking for ideas, looking for something different, and then I go to another book that is about all the Sabbats. You can find the Maven in there, and you look up that. Everything is so similar, and the reason why is because the correspondences of Maven are such, the correspondences of Samhain are such, correspondences of Yule are such, right? And I get that, and I work with that, and I understand that, and I teach that. It's who I am. However, that is still somebody else's work. That is somebody else's idea. I want something different. I just want something different. And the fact that I am not creative, I need somebody to whether it's a picture, whether it's, like I said, a book I've read, I see it on Instagram or whatever. I just need that little inspiration so that I can create my own, using my own words, using my own tools, using my own things, right? So she was having the same issue. And she said, she was like, it's just so frustrating because there's just, nothing, you can't find anything. And let me just say this, and this is, and this is only what I know, or what I think I know, put it that way. This is what I think I know. I think my friend, one of our circle sister, the circle sister that did the autumn equinox, a fairly new practitioner. A couple years, few years, don't know exactly. None of my business. I've never asked. But I thought it was interesting that she came up with that. Now, here's the difference between me and her. She's very creative. She is creative, and I love that about her. I love that about her so much that when we were talking about how you just can't find why is it that you can't find anything different? Every book is the same, every post is the same, everything is the same. And I explained, well, the correspondences and this is the time of the season and that's fine, but something different, please, something different. So she got to talking about she really enjoys these decks, and she said, she had bought the Maven deck, and she said, what's really interesting is she said, if you look at the cards, and these cards have a little saying, about whatever the picture is, that it'll have like a little blurb about it. Even if you take out the blurb and you just look at the picture, she goes, the picture tells the story. And I'm like, you need to, and by the way, if you're listening, you need to come to the tarot class. I'm just telling you, you need to come. So think about it. But she actually developed this ritual and activity and everything based on the story of the card. Now, her and I are like this as far as our minds. It's crazy. We freak each other out. So she at autumn equinox had given me something, And what was funny is I did, it was all I could do not to start laughing because I wanted to tell her, it's really interesting that you're giving me that because I've already got, this is, the item that she gave me was already complete. It was already, you know, it was a prepackaged gift. And it was perfect. But what was funny was for our activity for Samhain, which I don't tell anybody about ritual, we were making them. So anyway, it was really fun. It was fun. So we ended up, so we just have these ideas that are kind of, you know, on point, the same. So what was interesting about her telling, and I know I'm kind of rambling, I hope you can stay with me. But so it was really interesting about her saying that, you know, if you look at the cards, you can get an idea from the card as to what you want to create your ritual with. And again, and it was the same ritual that I got the gift that I tried not to laugh um, because I had already started doing something before that, and I didn't want to say anything. And so this is the first time that I'm saying anything about it because I kind of wanted to just show her how much further you can go with this, and it's really fun. It's wild. It's just wild. So I actually I don't know where I got the idea other than I do, you know, I do read tarot intuitively, but I cannot read oracle intuitively. So I thought. But I love the Samhain deck. Sorry, this is the Samhain deck. I love the Samhain deck. This is the little book that comes with it. I've already showed this book when I was talking about the cards in another video. Maybe I'll link it if I remember. But I have this. I have the Samhain and I have the Maven, and here's why. When I was looking at the Beltane cards, they're beautiful and the messages are great, but I don't know. It had an undertone about them while I was just looking at them that didn't resonate with me. So I ended up not getting the Beltane. Then I looked at the Yule cards, and for me, just for me, again, there was this undertone in the cards that didn't resonate with me. And I will say this, the Yule cards for me, in just looking at them and just doing that brief, you know, kind of looking and just, you know, sorting through, reading through, it was very, very Christmassy to me. It wasn't Yule-ish to me, but very Santa and Christmassy. Nothing against that. If you like that, great. But for whatever reason, something about the deck didn't resonate with me, so I didn't get it. Love the Samhain. This is my #1 deck. It's my go-to all year, not just at Samhain or the season of Samhain. And I have just recently, right before, you know, probably, I don't know, a month before the autumn equinox, I had gotten the Maven deck, and I'm still sort of looking at it and getting used to some of the messages because that's kind of what I have to do is read the messages. But here's the thing. Here's what I started doing. I started, you know, I'm teaching this tarot class next year, 2024. So if you're a customer, mark your calendars. It'll all be posted on our Facebook page once everything is written out for you to understand and we get closer. But, you know, I've read some things and I've heard some things about divination with tarot, and that tarot is a type of divination and da-da-da. You know, and I'm not going to argue that at all. It is what you want it to be. You read the way you want to read. If it's by the book, then it's by the book. If that's what you're comfortable with and that works for you. But I also work with tarot with a pendulum, which is really fun. And I don't work with a pendulum as a rule in divination. So I've only done that maybe a dozen times, but it works pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And that kind of pushed me forward into tarot and divination, and haven't been able to figure out so much tarot and divination other than right now with the pendulum. But I have worked out something that I kind of am enjoying right now. I'm still working with it. So I'm going to show you. And that is, I do talk about communicating with your cards. You got to communicate with your cards. Introduce yourself, let them introduce you, card by card by card, all of that stuff. But this is fun and for me. And so this is kind of what I want to show you. And it kind of goes with what my friend was saying about finding the message in just the drawing of the card, or it could be in what the little quote says underneath the drawing. So let me show you. Let me pull you down. Sorry. Hang on. You always get to go for a ride. All right. So yeah. Okay. I think you can see. All right. So this is the Samhain deck, and let me just give it. I'm just going to give it a shuffle for just 4 because this is how I shuffle my cards. And when I'm teaching tarot, I'm not going to tell you everything about tarot because if you're a customer thinking about taking the class, you'll learn this in class. So, all right. So I'm just going to do that. Also, this is the back of the Samhain cards, which if you've watched my videos, like I said, I've already done a review thing on this, or a video, I'm sorry, on the Samhain deck. So that's the back. And I'm going to do the same thing with the Maven cards. Okay, these are the Maven cards. This is the back. Just going to give it a little shuffle here. All right, a little bit. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so I've got the Maven deck and the Samhain deck. I am going to, normally I mix them together. So I got one big pile of cards. Give them a great shuffle. And then, but I'm not doing that today because it's a long story. Okay, woo! I'm not doing that today. So let's do this today. I'm just setting this right here. Here, I'll set it right here so you can see it. Okay, so this is what I'm doing today. And let me just tell you that I might have to use my books. Here's the Maven book. Okay, I might have to use the book because, like I said, I don't read Oracle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull one card from Samhain, and I don't do reversals. I got Pumpkin. I'm going to just lay that down. I'll lay it right here so you can see. See if I can move this camera just a little bit more. I actually want it to be up there. All right. I'm going to pull one from the Maven deck. Yummy. Mead and wine. Hope you can see that. The glare. I'm going to lay that next to there. And today I'm only going to do 3 cards. I'm going to put this right here. All right, and then I'm pulling a Samhain reflection. I'm going to do this first, and then I'll show you what else I do. All right. So what I'm doing is I usually do 3 rows. Sometimes a top row, a middle row, and then maybe a bottom row, or I might flip the cards. I'll show you. I might flip the cards over the hand. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So, pumpkin, mead and wine, and reflection. So all I'm doing is I do meditation first, clear my mind, and sit down to do this, because this is a divination. Yes, I would have my candles and everything, so I'm not all set up aesthetically. Apologize for that. But so I'm going to start with pumpkin. So without me having a question, you are able to ask a question if you want, just like you would in tarot. You could ask a question if you have issues with a choice, you don't know what choice. Most of the time when I'm doing tarot for myself, because I don't read for myself, as you know, if you watch the channel, I only do a one card, I mean, once a week pull for myself, and I never ask a question. I ask other than asking the universe, what do I need to know? What do you have to tell me? What do I need to look at? What do I need to let go of? Blah, 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 all of that stuff. But I never say, hey, am I getting this? You know, hey, should I do that? I don't do that. So for this particular set right here of 3, I'm just going to ask, let's just say I'm not going to bring the ancestors into it. So I'm going to ask the universe. I'm going to ask the universe, what message should I be looking at today for this video? Pumpkin, it says, uncaging the spirit within thou, the fertile power you hold. To taste your buttery velvet upon tongue is a gift I shall cherish each day that comes. All right, so they're definitely talking about, you know, the pumpkin and the power that you have. I'm going to move to the next card, which is mead and wine. Your presence embodied, tasting the pleasure flowing through your being. Now, interesting that this is talking about taste that buttery, you know, velvet, that buttery. If they're talking about pumpkin, but that's not what they're talking about really. It's uncaging the spirit within you and tasting that message, really consuming that message that spirit is trying to give you, and then cherishing, using that as a gift and cherishing it each day. When we go to meat and wine, which, you know, is an offering in most cases when we're doing any sort of work with deity or spirit, whatever. A lot of times there's an offering of food and wine, or food, you know, cakes and ale. You've heard of that. Mead is used quite often. And it says, your presence embodied, tasting the pleasure that flows through your being. So these two are, that's exact, it's telling you, embrace spirit within, embrace the spirit within. It empowers you. Be grateful for it. Gift it back. It's a gift to you. Show gratitude back. The last card, reflection. Be wary of things you believe to see with eyes wide shut, for they are mirrors of the mad and truths only spoken with a bleeding tongue. So I find that really interesting, in that spirit is really just kind of saying, I'm here for you. Consume me, take me in, and I am the gift that is going to empower you. And, you know, be wary of the things that you know, that you can't see with your eyes shut, wide shut, which I kind of like that expression. For me, it's just saying that use your gifts wisely. If right here, they're mirrors, meaning what you do is a reflection. It's a reflection of who you are. And what's really funny about this is I almost started another video today, kind of about that, about being all spiritual, people that that claims spiritualism, positive, and all of that, and yet really that's for your pleasure. You know what I mean? It's anyway. But I decided against doing that one. Okay, so here we have it. And if we sit back and we go, I don't know, I don't really get that. I need clarification. If I had another deck here, say the Yule deck, say the Beltane deck, I'm probably going to end up getting those two, including the Imbolc deck that's coming out. I haven't even seen it yet. I don't even know. But the reason why is these are the seasons. These are the seasons. Samhain, Mabon, Yule, Beltane, Imbolc. Those are the seasons, the 8 seasons of the wheel, which I happen to follow, I happen to honor, and I believe in the seasons. How can you not believe in it if you live on this planet? Although there are some areas that don't have all 4 seasons, I get that. But we still have these changes that go on in our spiritual life, in our life in general, in nature in general. You can see it. So why not? To complete that circle, to complete that cycle, I should have all the cards. Because just because I have these messages doesn't mean that maybe Yule or maybe Imbolc or when Ostara comes out, the summer solstice, midsummer, that they're not going to have a clarifying message for me. Because even though this is Samhain and this is Mabon, those are already past. Well, they've only just passed because the wheel is turned. It's going to come around again. So there's a way that you can look at this as past or coming up future. Do this because it's coming around again, if that makes sense. So if I had one of the other decks, what I would do is I would probably pull another card coming, no kidding, coming of winter. It comes in lullabies deep within your mirrored flesh. You are mirrors. Alas, it is time to lay your quivering chest upon the winter's coming. So for me, I would put this here or here as a reminder. Resting, reflect, rest, think about it. Think about that reflection. Who you are, what you do, what you say comes back. It's going to come back. Reflect on that. Who are you really? What is it that you're trying to achieve really? What are you trying to be really? Where is your spiritualism taking you really? Where do you want it to take it? Where do you want it to take you really? And winter's coming. That is a time of hibernation, a time of rest, a time of quiet, as is Samhain. But we're getting into this. That's why animals hibernate. They hibernate, and that's during winter. And Samhain is the coming of winter. Start to reflect on this. I love that. It's like, whoa, that was perfect. So I'm going to pull another card. I just want to see what other conversation they might have with me. What else do they want to tell me? Falling leaves. Falling leaves. Let go of the things that weigh heavily on you. You deserve to take up space. You deserve to take up space. So I'm going to put that over here because uncaging the spirit within yourself, that's the gift. That is the gift of the gods, is uncaging that. Open yourself up. Let go of those things that are weighing you down. So I would put this with this card. Okay, we want to pull one more. these are all I have. Let's pull two and put them together and see what they say. Well, Samhain is altar, and Maven goes really well with meat and wine. It's pumpkin spice and apple cider. So let's read altar, a sacred devotion, a worship, skin deep, rising from the ash, the waters you keep. And then pumpkin spice and apple cider. Nothing is more nostalgic than the joy of belonging in your presence. And that's what you're getting. Look at your presence embodied, tasting the pleasure. So this definitely goes with this one. It's a reminder. It's a reminder. Pumpkin spice and apple cider. Nothing is more nostalgic than the joy of belonging to your presence. Nothing is more nostalgic than the belonging in your presence. I would say that that ends up over here with the reflection. So does that make sense? So this is how I started working with the cards. What I hope to do is, like I said, I don't read intuitively. So I do have to read what these say. And then I do try to, like you just saw me do, I try to put them together and into an order that would make sense to me. So here we have things that are weighing heavy on us. Spirit comes in, uncage yourself, open up. Let yourself be open to the messages and the gifts that the gods, that spirit, that the ancestors, the universe, whoever, whatever you work with, could be deity, whatever. Open yourself up and let that come. But it also does say it's a gift. Cherish it, cherish it. Make sure you're working on your gratitudes. Moves us into devotion and worship. I just said that, like be grateful for that. Listen to the message, be grateful for that. Open yourself up, be grateful for the message, for the gift, be grateful for it. And your presence is the most important thing. You being you, you are a gift. Your presence is everything. And then going into the reflection and of things that have passed, going into the reflection of it. What is the final outcome? Where do you want to be? What are your choices? Think about those choices. If this all has to do with whatever it is, I need a new job, I need this, I need that. This all works up to this. And then reflecting on it, thinking about it, going deep within, letting it sink in, and then the end result being that nothing is more nostalgic than the joy of belonging in your presence, which goes back to this, for me, goes back to this, because nothing is more nostalgic, nothing is more giving, nothing is more exciting to me than the gift giving of ancestors, deity, spirit, whatever. So it's kind of like I said with the Samhain ritual. Yeah, I felt kind of intimidated by what I did. There were mishaps. So it didn't, not mishaps. It didn't go smoothly, and I'm used to it going smoothly, and it didn't. It was new to me, and it didn't go smoothly, and I was uneasy with it. I wasn't comfortable with that, and so, but that's what this is telling me. The ancestors wanted it. They wanted something different. That was a gift. Hang on to that, learn from that. And moving forward, I do work with deity. I am, I won't go into all that, but yes, I do. I'm devoted. I do devotions and all of that. And then the reflections. That is what I said in the beginning of this. How weird is that? I said that in the beginning of this, that I didn't feel good. By Tuesday, I really didn't feel good. I don't know if I was just, I think I was just exhausted, to be quite honest with you. But it was during that time of rest because I didn't feel good. I laid on the couch all day with a blanket on, watching dumb movies, and thinking, processing ritual, and that was a reflection, and that reflection just kind of gave me. I don't know if the reflection gave me the answer, but it was enough for me to open up, and whatever gifts the ancestors had for me came through. And was this for me? Oh, maybe this is a message for me. Thank you. Like you, I shuffled the cards. You saw me. So anyway, so that's kind of where I was going with this is you can still use your cards any way you want. Whether you're just doing a spread, this is kind of like a tarot spread, I guess. Only you would have, like, oh, we have the Two of Swords, and we have the Emperor, and we have the Lovers, and we've got over here the, Nine of Hearts, or, Cups, whatever. Um, Nine of Hearts. Uh, anyway, Nine of Cups, I meant. Where are hearts? Hmm. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you can do all kinds of different divinations. I really, really, more than with tarot, I'm maybe because this is new to me, I'm really, really enjoying doing the oracles only because I can't really read intuitively yet, yet. Um, but I also enjoy just sitting back and reading what it says, and then even going ahead and looking at the pictures after you've done your reading. Go back over it, do that reflection, go back over it, and look at the pictures, read the thing, and look at the pictures. And what do you see? Like what do you see? And yeah, I like it. So that's what I've been doing. And you don't have to just do it with the Seasons of the Witch deck. Any oracle that you want to use, I would use more than one because you're getting different, you're pulling from different uh, areas, um, different thought processes and stuff like that. Um, I loved it. Yeah, I love it. I really think this message was for me. So thank you. All right, so that's what I kind of wanted to show you, how I'm working this now, where I'm adding the cards and just going, okay, well, this, hmm, I think this goes with this, it says it right there, and figuring it out, thinking about that placement. I'm just doing a 3 card. You can do however you want. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. It's however you want. This is just how I started doing it, um, and mostly because I don't read Oracle. I was, and I'm thinking Sabbath on these, so I was trying to associate the message with the Sabbath, and I've learned not to do that. Like, don't do that. It has nothing. I'm reading Oracle, so I'm just reading what the universe wants me to hear and to know right now. So that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, that was a wild trip. Yeah, that was pretty fun. uh, because I don't know, I think it was for me. It was cool. So anyway, there's a lot of things you can do. Hope you enjoyed it. And I gave you some food for thought anyway. Mix it up, do whatever. Hey, if you have a way that you do divination with either tarot or your oracle, leave a comment. Like share, share, and let other people get some ideas of how they can, work. Sorry, I got this thing on here. Get off. Um, you know, how they can work with their cards and learn, because everybody's different. Everybody's going to have a different way and a different idea and a different feeling of what that card means to them based on maybe what they asked or what their situation is, or their experience, just anything, you know, anything and everything. So yeah, if you do divination with your cards, leave a comment down below, and you know, if you want to, if you feel like you'd like to share that, it would be fun. And maybe I'll show you next video my divination with actually I do that with tarot, with the pendulum. Because typically, so like I said, I typically don't work with the pendulum anymore for divination. I use the pendulum for healing purposes, using it on chakras, and when I do Reiki treatments and stuff like that. I never really got that connection of divination with the pendulum, but I definitely felt it with healing. That was until I just said, let me try this. And I tried it, and I was like, wow, that was super cool. And I would love to share that and show you how I do it and show you how it works for me. So have something to look forward to. This was a long video. Aren't they all? Sorry. Anyway, I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, comment at the bottom. If you haven't subscribed and you liked it, subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I like making the videos. It's fun. If you're new here, just so you know, FYI, I don't edit. There is no special lighting. It is what it is. And yeah. Nope, I make no money. I just do this on my days off when I have the time to do it and I have something that I think is fun that I want to share. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes I might rant about something. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the week. I don't know. I've been trying to get back on my every other week doing videos. I know there's been a couple weeks where um, it's been 3 weeks before I did a video. But if that happens, understand I have a store that I run, and a life that I live. So that's it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Be kind, and see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.